The church door opened. June 18, 1968, 9:47 p.m. Alabama. 50 Ku Klux Klan members stopped mid-rally and turned. Muhammad Ali stood in the doorway, alone. For 5 seconds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The Grand Wizard broke the silence. "You're trespassing. Get out." Ali stepped inside. Let the door close behind him. "I'm not leaving. I came to talk." 3 Klan members stood up, hands moving toward weapons. Ali didn't flinch. "Go ahead. Pull those guns. But you're going to hear what I have to say first." The tension was suffocating. This was 1968 Alabama. A black man in a KKK meeting, challenging them. This was how people got killed. But Ali didn't back down. He walked further into the room, stopped in the center, looked around at the 50 white-robed men staring at him with hatred, and started talking. "Y'all hate me because I'm black, because I'm Muslim, because I refuse to fight in Vietnam. I know, I've heard it all." Someone shouted, "Then why are you here?" "Because I want to know why, face to face, not through newspapers, not through hate mail. I want you to tell me to my face why you think I'm less than you." Silence. What Ali said in the next 8 minutes. How 3 men responded. It didn't just shock that room. It changed the course of 3 lives. This is the story nobody was supposed to witness. But 3 men refused to keep silent about. June 1968. America was burning. Martin Luther King Jr. had been assassinated 2 months earlier. Cities erupted in riots. The Vietnam War was tearing the country apart. And Muhammad Ali was the most controversial figure in sports, stripped of his heavyweight title for refusing the draft, facing 5 years in prison, banned from boxing in every state. Ali was in Alabama for a speaking engagement at a small black college outside Birmingham. After his speech, he was having dinner with local community leaders when someone mentioned that the Ku Klux Klan was meeting that night at a church about 10 miles outside town. The room went quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. The Klan wasn't just a hate group in Alabama. They were powerful, connected, and violent. In 1968, they operated with near impunity, bombing churches, beating activists, murdering civil rights workers. Ali asked where exactly the church was located. The community leaders exchanged nervous glances. One man, Reverend James Patterson, tried to change the subject. But Ali persisted. Someone finally gave him directions. A small white church on County Road 47, about a mile past the old sawmill. Ali stood up from the table, said he was going. The room erupted. Everyone told him no. Too dangerous. Suicidal. They'll kill you. Ali's own security, a man named Walter Brown, physically tried to stop him. "Champ, you can't go there. Not alone. Not ever. Those people want you dead." But Ali's mind was made up. He'd spent years being called a coward for refusing Vietnam, being told he was destroying America, getting death threats in every city he visited. And he was tired of it. Tired of the hate coming from people who'd never met him, who'd never heard him speak, who just hated what he represented. He wanted to look them in the eye, wanted to ask them why, wanted to see if any of them could justify their hatred when it had a face. Ali drove alone. County Road 47 was a dirt road cutting through pine forests. No streetlights, no other cars, just darkness and the sound of gravel under his tires. He found the church easily. Small white building, maybe room for 100 people, cars parked in the grass. A wooden cross burning in the front yard, flames casting orange light across the clearing. Ali parked his car at the edge of the property. Sat there for a minute, looking at the burning cross. He could hear voices inside, shouting, cheering, the rhythms of hate speech he'd heard his whole life. He thought about turning around. This was insane. These people would kill him. Nobody knew he was here. Nobody could help him if things went wrong. But then he thought about all the times people had told him to be quiet, to accept his place, to stop making trouble, and he got out of the car. He walked across the clearing. The heat from the burning cross hit him as he passed. The voices inside got louder. He reached the door, put his hand on the handle, took a breath, and opened it. The church was small. Wooden pews on both sides. About 50 men in white Ku Klux Klan robes, some with hoods up, some with hoods down. At the front, a man Ali assumed was the Grand Wizard stood at a makeshift podium, mid-speech about protecting white America from mongrelization. Every head turned toward the door. The Grand Wizard stopped mid-sentence. For 5 full seconds, the only sound was the burning cross crackling outside. Then the Grand Wizard's face twisted with rage. "You're trespassing. Get out. Now." Ali stepped inside and let the door close behind him. The sound of it shutting felt final, like a cell door locking. "I'm not leaving. I came to talk." 3 men in the front row stood up. One was a large man, maybe 6'4", 250 pounds. His hand went to his belt. Ali saw the gun. The other 2 men also stood, also armed. This was it. This was where it could end. But Ali didn't flinch. He looked directly at the men, with his hand on his gun. "Go ahead, pull it, but you're going to hear what I have to say first." The Grand Wizard raised his hand, stopping his men, not out of mercy, out of curiosity. He wanted to know what this man could possibly say. "You got 2 minutes. Then you leave, or we make you leave." Ali walked down the center aisle. Slowly, every eye on him. He stopped in the middle of the room, surrounded by white robes and hatred. He turned slowly, making eye contact with as many men as he could. Then he spoke. His voice was calm, not aggressive, not scared, just honest. "Y'all hate me. I know that. I see the signs at my fights. I read the letters. Death threats. People calling me a traitor, a coward, a knee." He stopped. "Well, you know what they call me. I've heard it my whole life." Some men shifted uncomfortably. Others stared with open hatred. "But here's what I don't understand," Ali continued. "You hate me because I'm black, because I'm Muslim, because I refuse to go fight in Vietnam. But you don't know me, never met me, never talked to me. You just know what you've been told to think about me." The Grand Wizard interrupted. "We know enough. You're everything that's wrong with this country." "Am I?" Ali looked at him. "Let me ask you something. How many black people you actually know? I mean really know. Not work for you, not clean your house. Actually know as equals." Silence. "That's what I thought," Ali said. "You hate an idea. You hate what you think I represent. But you don't hate me. You can't. You don't know me." A voice from the back shouted, "We know you refuse to fight for your country." Ali turned toward the voice. "That's right. I refused. You know why? Because I don't have a quarrel with the Viet Cong. They never called me the word you probably want to call me right now. They never enslaved my ancestors. They never denied me a job because of my skin. So why should I go halfway around the world to kill them?" "Because your country asked you to," another voice shouted. "My country," Ali repeated. "The same country that wouldn't let my grandparents vote? The same country that made them sit in the back of the bus? The same country where y'all meet in churches like this to talk about keeping people like me in our place? That country?" The room was getting agitated. Men were standing. The Grand Wizard was trying to regain control. "You've said your piece. Now leave." But Ali wasn't done. "I'll leave. But first, I want to know something. I want one of you to explain to me why. Why do you hate me? What did I ever do to you personally?" He pointed to a man in the 3rd row. "You. What's your name?" The man hesitated. "Robert." "Robert what?" "Robert Henderson." "Okay, Robert Henderson. Why do you hate me?" Robert looked at the Grand Wizard, who nodded permission to speak. "Because you're destroying this country. You're disrespecting the flag, the military, everything we stand for." "Have we ever met before tonight?" Ali asked. "No." "Have I ever done anything to you personally?" "No, but—" "Then you don't hate me," Ali interrupted. "You hate what someone told you I represent. But I'm standing right here. Look at me. I'm just a man. Just like you. I got a mama. I got feelings. I bleed when I'm cut. I'm not your enemy, Robert. I'm just a man who made a choice based on my beliefs. Just like you're here tonight, based on your beliefs." The room was quieter now. Some men were still angry, but others were listening. Really listening. Ali could see it in their faces. Confusion. Like they'd never considered the person behind the image they hated. A younger man, maybe early 20s, stood up. He looked nervous. "Can I ask you something?" The Grand Wizard started to object, but Ali nodded. "Go ahead. Do you really believe white people are devils? That's what they say about the Nation of Islam." Ali shook his head. "I believe people are people. Some good, some bad. White, black, don't matter. I've met white people who treated me with respect and kindness. And I've met black people who tried to tear me down. The color doesn't determine the character." "Then why join the nation?" the young man asked. "Because they gave me pride in myself when nobody else would. They taught me I wasn't less than anybody. They taught me my African heritage was something to be proud of, not ashamed of. You ever feel ashamed of who you are?" The young man didn't answer, but his face said yes. "Then you understand," Ali said softly. "We all just trying to find where we belong. Find people who make us feel like we matter. You found it here. I found it with the nation. Doesn't make either of us devils. Makes us human." The young man sat down slowly, his face troubled, like something he'd believed his whole life had just been challenged and he didn't know how to process it. A third man stood up. Older, maybe 50s. He'd been quiet the whole time. "I fought in World War II. Lost friends. You saying they died for nothing?" "No, sir," Ali said with genuine respect. "They died for this country. For your freedom to be here tonight. For my freedom to refuse to fight in a war one don't believe in. That's what freedom means, right? The right to make your own choices based on your own conscience." The veteran was quiet for a moment. "I never thought about it like that." "Most people don't," Ali said. "They think freedom means everybody has to think the same way, do the same thing. But that's not freedom. That's conformity. Your friends died so we could be free. I'm exercising that freedom. Doesn't dishonor them, honors them." The veteran sat down. Didn't say anything else. But Ali could see something had shifted in his eyes. The Grand Wizard had had enough. "This is over. You've had your say. Now leave before we remove you." Ali nodded. "I'll leave. But I want to say one more thing." He looked around the room one last time. "Y'all can keep hating me. That's your right. But you should know. I don't hate you. I feel sorry for you. Because hate is heavy. It's a weight you carry every day. And it doesn't hurt me. It hurts you. Every minute you spend hating me is a minute of your life you can't get back. A minute you could have spent with your families, your kids, doing something that actually matters." He walked toward the door, stopped, turned back. "One day, maybe not today, maybe not this year, but one day, you're going to realize that we're not that different. We're all just trying to live our lives, provide for our families, find meaning. And when you realize that, this hate you're carrying is going to feel like the waste it is." Then Muhammad Ali walked out of that KKK meeting, alone, the same way he'd walked in. He got in his car, drove back to town. Nobody followed him. Nobody tried to stop him. He made it back to his hotel just before midnight. His security guard, Walter, was waiting in the lobby, furious and relieved. "Are you insane? Do you know what could have happened?" Ali just shook his head. "Nothing happened. I said what I needed to say. They listened. That's all." "Did it change anything?" Ali shrugged. "Maybe. Maybe not. But at least they heard it from me instead of from someone who hates me telling them what I think." The story stayed quiet for years. Ali didn't talk about it publicly. The Klan certainly didn't publicize that Muhammad Ali had crashed their meeting. It became one of those things that happened in the shadows, witnessed by 50 people who had no incentive to tell anyone. But 3 men who were in that church that night couldn't keep quiet. Robert Henderson, The man Ali had spoken to directly quit the Klan 6 months later. He'd kept thinking about what Ali said, about hating someone he'd never met, about hating an idea instead of a person. It ate at him, made him question everything he'd been taught. In 1972, Henderson gave an interview to a small Alabama newspaper about why he'd left the Klan. He mentioned the night Muhammad Ali showed up. He treated me with more respect in that church than I'd shown him my whole life, made me ashamed, made me think. The young man who'd asked about the Nation of Islam was named Tommy Patterson. He was 23 that night. He left the Klan a year later, moved to Atlanta, and spent the next 40 years working in community organizing, helping poor neighborhoods regardless of race. In 1998, he wrote a letter to Muhammad Ali, thanked him for that night, said it changed his life. "You could have been angry, could have called us what we deserved to be called. But you talked to us like we were human, like we could change. And I did change. Because of you." The World War II veteran was named Frank Morrison. He stayed in the Klan longer than the other two, another 5 years. But in 1973, he had a heart attack. While recovering in the hospital, he had a black nurse who took care of him with kindness and professionalism. And he remembered what Ali had said about people being people, color not determining character. He quit the Klan, spent his final years volunteering at a veterans center that served all races. Before he died in 2003, he told his grandson about the night Muhammad Ali walked into a KKK meeting. "Bravest thing I ever saw. Not because he wasn't scared, but because he did it anyway." When Muhammad Ali died in 2016, Tommy Patterson traveled to Louisville for the memorial service. He brought with him a photograph, one of the only pieces of evidence that night ever happened. A grainy black and white photo someone had taken of Ali standing in the center of that church, surrounded by white robes, speaking. Patterson gave the photo to the Ali Center with a note. "This is the Muhammad Ali nobody talks about. Not the boxer, not the activist. The man who walked into the most dangerous room in America and tried to change hearts with nothing but his words. That's courage." The photo now hangs in a small display at the Ali Center, not in the main exhibit, in a quiet corner. Most visitors walk past it. But those who stop and read the context card learn about the night that proved Ali's greatest fight wasn't in any boxing ring. June 18, 1968. A small church in Alabama. 50 Ku Klux Klan members. One black man walking through the door alone. No cameras, no backup, no weapons. Just words and courage. 3 men walked out of the Klan because of what happened that night. 3 lives changed. 3 families affected. Ripples spreading for decades. Ali didn't change everyone in that room. Most of them probably hated him more after he left. But he didn't go there to change everyone. He went there to challenge them, to make them see him as human, to plant seeds of doubt in the foundation of their hatred. And for 3 men, those seeds grew. That's the story nobody was supposed to tell. The night Muhammad Ali crashed a KKK rally and refused to leave until they listened. The night he proved that sometimes the most dangerous fight is the one you choose to have with words instead of fists. The night he showed that real courage isn't about not being afraid, it's about walking into fear anyway because speaking truth matters more than staying safe.